Hello, everybody, and welcome to Author in the Spotlight, which is our mini series where you get to find out a little bit more about the authors that are going to be in the upcoming book, which is super, super exciting. Today, I am joined by Jules Reynolds. So, welcome, Jules. How are you doing?
Doing really well, thank you.
Awesome, awesome. So I'm going to hand straight over to you and just ask you to tell us a little bit about you as a person, not your work or anything, but just to share a little bit about you. So I'll hand over.
Okay, so I'm Jules. I'm in mid-50s. I'm a daughter, sister. I'm a wife and a mother. Got a daughter who's in her mid-20s. I'm a musician and a singer. I'm a lifelong word nerd, and I'm a follower of Jesus.
Amazing. You have a lot in there, lots of interesting things that we could unpack and be here for ages, but we will leave that. If you want to connect with Jules, I will tell you how to a little bit later on. And so do you want to share with us as well a little bit about the work that you do and what your interest in children's mental health and how that all fits together?
Sure. So currently I'm working full-time at a local secondary school. I'm working as a higher level teaching assistant with the young people who've got English as an additional language. So most of them have only recently, within the last 3, 4 years, come over to England, come over to the UK from wherever home has been for them. So I have children from Ukraine, from southern India, Sri Lanka, China. So we've got lots of nationalities, lots of culture differences to the UK, as well as those language difficulties. And of course, some of my children haven't just got language difference, it's a whole alphabet difference. So they can't do like you can with Spanish and French and German. Everything's different. Right from zero, everything is different. So that's my current work. I work full time. I've got two part-time colleagues. So it's just the three of us in a school that's got a cohort of about 1,200. We probably work with 10% of the school cohort will have English as an additional language. Different levels. Some have learnt English alongside another home language all their life, so their English is really good. But as I say, for some of ours, they might have learnt a little bit of English at school, but when they come over here, it's like, that's not really much use. I know how to ask for a cup of coffee. That's not really a lot of use in school.
No.
So it's really finding out where they're at and giving them confidence that they can learn English, they can communicate clearly and be understood, as well as understanding what's being said and asked of them as well. So I love it. I learn a lot from them as well as teaching them English.
Amazing. That sounds like a challenging but rewarding job as well. And yeah, sorry, my dog has come to join us, so I do apologize.
Right?
And yeah, that's amazing work because you often forget about the challenges that children with not, English as a second language face. So that's amazing work. It's amazing to find out more. And so just sort of moving on from that then, what was it that drew you to wanting to take part in the upcoming book?
For a lot of our children, expressing themselves emotionally is really difficult because they don't have the words in English, and we don't have necessarily the staff who understand their home language. So when they are upset or when they are finding school difficult to navigate for whatever reason, it's very hard for them to express that and to feel heard and to feel understood. And so I've also got personal experience of migrating within the UK. When my daughter was younger, we moved around a lot. And although she spoke the same language as her peers, she was still a newbie. She was still the outsider. She hadn't, you don't come from here. You're not local. Where have you come from? Why have you come? All those questions were asked of her, but she could articulate herself. When you can't articulate, or you don't know the right way of saying the words because you in your language put words the other way around, You might put your verb first and then your noun, not noun verb, or whatever order it is. You can become very self-conscious of saying anything because you think, if I get it wrong, somebody's going to laugh at me. Somebody's going to pick me up. They're going to mimic. They're going to take, you know, have fun at my expense, and I won't really understand why. So, in the short time I've been working with our students, I've realized that for a lot of them, that is the biggest barrier, is not being able to fully express themselves. And obviously, for some of our children, the trauma they've come from is still going on back home, where they've left family and friends. And being able to talk that trauma through, or talk through their thoughts and their feelings of that trauma, I've realized that the greatest thing I can do is listen. We do use technology is wonderful. We use Google Translate and other issues so that I can type a question in, they can type an answer back in their home language, and I can pick up the gist and we can have some more meaningful conversations. But it's setting aside time for that. And it's also helping their parents or their hosts over here to do that too. To go, do you know what? It doesn't have to be deep and heavy, but just occasionally just sit down, type in, how is it going? How is school? Have you got friendships? What do they feel like? What are they? And then they can also tell you the good things that are happening in their life. I mean, I was sharing with my students just before we broke for the Easter break their traditions of Easter, what they do. So I've been learning about Sri Lankan Independence Day. That was the 14th of April. Their foods, their games. They pin the eye on the elephant. As in Britain, we pin the tail on the donkey. They put the eye on the elephant. Great fun. And the foods, and then obviously with my Ukrainian students, been talking about Ukrainian, the Orthodox celebration of Easter. They coincided this year, and they paint eggs in beautiful decorations and the clothing. So I'm able to have those conversations about their culture, their world, and bring them in. And that releases some of that isolation and that mental health feeling of being the outsider, to bring them into our culture, but bring our culture into their culture. Say, okay, well, tell me, this is what we do. What do you do?
Mm.
And I try learning a few words, and then they see that Mrs. Reynolds gets it wrong, and I can't pronounce it, and I can't read it. And so it helps them to realize, actually, yeah, it's not just me learning English that's finding it's hard. People finding my language hard. I would say, and there's guttural sounds, and there's zhuzes and all sorts of things. So I wanted to highlight, especially for parents and carers, have those conversations. You've had to leave quite often, sometimes quite quickly, and you've had no choice. But have those conversations and say, okay, so we've had to do this. How are we working through this? Let's work through this together. Don't just assume they're okay because they say nothing, or they just not smile and nod. They don't want to cause any more fuss. But have those conversations, really dig deep, take time. That's the biggest thing. Take time to just say, so how are you getting on? Is it a struggle? Do you feel isolated? Is the work ethic different to what you used to? How can we work through that? How can we accommodate that and make it more comfortable? We can't change what's happened. We can't change why you've had to migrate, but we can make that experience more comfortable, more pleasant, a happier time in life than it just being a complete uprooting, an alien world that I've just been dropped into and I've got no power. We can empower the young people. And that's why I wanted to write the chapter, just to help adults to empower those young people, so that they grow up knowing and having the tools to think, do you know what? It's okay. Moving's all right. Location, yeah, it matters, but I can do this wherever.
Yeah.
That's just my heart. I love working with them. I learn so much. They're wonderful young people.
Yeah, and I can see your passion for that, and I love the um the viewpoint that you came from. So one of my questions was going to be to sort of tell us a bit about what you're writing on, and obviously you beautifully illustrated that there. And I think it's something that's often overlooked. We don't consider it, even like when you said about yourself, like you moved with your daughter, and although it was within the same country, she was still the newbie and things like that. And I just love the perspective that it's something that maybe we don't realize, that the impact.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know
Even just the simple thing of moving from primary school to secondary school.
yeah,
It might be in the same town, but it's a migration. You've gone from somewhere very familiar, one classroom, one teacher, you know everything, you know everybody, and then you come to a school that might be 5 times the size, people you don't know, you're moving around a building, you've got different teachers, and then timetables change, and lunch is at a different time, and your journey there's different, and all those sorts of things. We've all done them, but they can have a different impact on all of us. Some of us just go, hey, well, hey, it's new, love it, new experience. For some
yeah,
of us, it's like, oh, Lordy, I don't know where to go. I don't know how to go round. I'm lost. Who do I ask? I feel stupid because everybody else seems to know where they're going. And it can become a big issue. As I say, for my students, when you've got that language issue as well, it makes it doubly hard to ask and go, where should I be? Pull out your timetable and go, still doesn't make sense, don't know.
yeah,
So I try and provide, and my colleagues, we try and provide that safe place where they can come to us and go, I've been told to do this, miss. What does that mean? And then we can try and sort of point them in the right direction, support them, find out if we don't know. Right, okay, we'll find out. What does that mean? Well, you've been told to go here. Okay. Um, and work it through with them and it's all about giving them the tools then that they can go, actually, yeah, I know how to handle this. Done this before. What did Mrs. Reynolds say? Do this, do that. Okay, and on we go. And that
yeah.
gives them that confidence and maturity to say, yeah, I can own this. I can do this. I can go anywhere in the world and I'll survive.
I love that. I really love that. I think that the empowerment side of things is something
Mm.
that when you see a child feel empowered, it gives you that feeling that you can't really put into words, doesn't it? Because you're like, yes, it's amazing to see them do that. So I love everything that you do. And if you want to read more, then obviously keep an eye out for the book that will be coming out very, very soon. And if people wanted to contact you, Jules, to find out more about you, or to connect with you. I know that many of us are sort of everywhere, but is there a certain place that you're best to connect with people, whether that's Facebook, Instagram, or email? All of your contacts are in the book, but for people that are watching this, where would be the best place for them to go?
So the best place to go would be my website because you can email me from on there and I'll pick it up. So the website is www.mosaicministries.co.uk, and mosaic is spelled with a Z, not an S. So yeah,
Awesome.
there's an email facility on the website. If you email me there, it'll ping in my inbox and I'll be able to contact from there. I am on social media, but it's a little bit tricky sometimes to contact people, but that's the best place, the website.
The best pet. Awesome. And I will attach that. I'll attach your website to this when this goes out as well, so as it's easier for people to find. But well, thank you so much for joining us today. Is there anything else that you want to add or say before we sort of bring it to a close? Or
I
are you all
think
good?
so, apart from look out for the
Yeah.
book and then get the book, buy the
Yeah.
book, because it's full of
Amazing.
so many amazing people and their experiences, their wisdom, their insight. It's a definite must-have book for any parent, any carer of any young person and child, definitely.
Thank you. It is a powerful book. So I'm so excited for launch. But thank you so much for your time today, Jules. It's been lovely having you join us. And please do stay tuned for the next author in the spotlight. We'll see you all again soon. Bye.
Bye.